Hello, and welcome back to That Mama Plays Guitar. So, this is my second vlog, and I did some introductions in my first one, but my name is Abby Freeland. I'm doing this vlog as kind of a kickstarter to a new phase in my guitar playing. I have been, in the last 7 years, I've been in my childbearing years, and those weren't very productive years for me as far as my guitar playing went. But now I'm trying to play more, I'm trying to improve more, I'm trying to learn some new music, and that's what this vlog is all about, is sharing that with you. So, the piece I want to play for you today, and I showed you this last time, is I wanted to play this piece called Vincent. Just the first two sections for you, which is a lot more difficult than that first prelude that I played. This is the third section, which I'm not going to be playing for you today, but as you can see, the notes are super tiny. But this is a piece by Don McLean, but it's arranged by Chet Atkins, and I talked to you a little bit about Chet Atkins last time, just that he's the king of fingerstyle guitar. And after that vlog, I was like, you know, I really don't know that much about him. I mean, I've been playing guitar almost my whole life, and I don't follow a lot of other players, and the truth is, like, I really want to play the guitar, and I've kind of shied away from being too much of a fan, like a fan of others and following others too much, because I feel like I only have this certain amount of time, and I want to play. Like, I want to play the guitar. I want to learn to play, and I want to play well. And I don't want to, like, waste time following all these other players. But now that I'm in this new phase, I just thought, you know, it would be good to learn a little bit more about some of these big names, because we don't play guitar in a vacuum, you know. I and you, if you play guitar, are really standing on others' shoulders, and just the volume of their work and their contributions that have come down to us. So I was like, okay, I'm going to read about him. So I looked him up, and I learned some interesting things. He was born in a little town in Tennessee in the mountains, and his first guitar he traded his brother for an old pistol and some chores. And it said that his first guitar, the nut was a nail. I mean, can you imagine? And only the first few frets actually, like, he could play so that the guitar stayed in tune. And he also had really bad asthma, so that he had to move out of his hometown at one point, go live with his dad, and he had to sleep. He had to learn to sleep, like, sitting up in a straight back chair. And it was during that time when his asthma was, like, really bad, that he became, like, obsessed with the guitar. And he would play guitar until he fell asleep, like, sitting up like that. And he apparently kept that habit until he was old. So another interesting thing about him was, well, I didn't know, he produced an album with Elvis Presley, which, I mean, that's big. And he also, I mean, he produced so much music. I also learned that he didn't really develop his unique style until about 1939, when he heard a guy named Merle Travis playing. And that's when he heard, like, he saw this style of playing the bass note with your thumb, and then the melody with the other three fingers, and that's when he really started to develop his own style. And he just took off from there, and he was called Mr. Guitar, and I also learned that he didn't really consider himself just a country musician, even though he was labeled that. Like, he loved jazz. He even played some classical pieces. He just loved guitar all around, and he passed away in 2001, and now there's like he's still got, you know, huge following, and even right now as I'm recording this, there's a Chet Atkins convention going on in Nashville, which is a huge guitar convention. I've never been to it, but every July they have a convention in honor of him. That's how big his influence is. So I have seen Chet Atkins perform several times on television, and just growing up, and there's 2 or 3 things I noticed about him which I'd love to share. And one is that he loved the guitar. Like, you didn't have to be an expert or knowledgeable about the guitar or anything. You could just watch him and be like, he loves it. It's his favorite thing. It's his life. He loves the guitar. He loves to share it. He loves to perform. And he's a showman too, so he was good at that, but he just loved what he was doing. And I noticed that. And the other thing I noticed about Chet Atkins is he had great hair. And to me, I mean, that's definitely big points. I mean, you can look up pictures of him. His hair was just great all the way through his career. Awesome hair, big puntos. So I can only hope that my hair holds out as long as his did. So one thing I want to share about this piece is that it's in an alternate tuning that I've actually never used before. Standard tuning is the sixth string is tuned to E, then it goes A, then D, G, B, and then E again. But this piece is in the 6th string is tuned to D, and the 5th string is tuned to G. So instead of a E, it's a D. Instead of an A, it's a G. And I've never played any pieces like that before. I've played a lot of pieces with the 6th string tuned to D. That's very common. So that's new for me. And another thing about this piece is that, and a lot of fingerstyle is written in this way, is that the music notes, if you can see, and if you play fingerstyle you know this, but the first line up here is the actual musical notes, and then under here is the tablature. I'm going to hold it closer so you can see, hopefully, the tablature. Tablature is a way of writing music where there's 6 lines, and the top line represents the 6th string, and on down, and then they'll just write on that, like if you're playing the 6th string, then they'll write a number of what fret to play. So it's like the numbers represent the actual notes. So really anybody, even if you don't read music, you can look at that and say, oh, there's a 5 and it's on the 6th string, so that means I play this note right here. So honestly, I grew up like learning the classical guitar type playing, and I was a little bit, you know, looking down my nose at tablature, thinking like, well, it's not like real music, you're not reading real music. But I've totally changed my view on that, because playing this piece, like, I use the tablature. That's mostly what I use, and that's what made it accessible to me, because there's just a lot going on up the neck here where I'm not as familiar with the note reading. And So having tablature was great and just made it so much more accessible to me. I still am glad that I can read music, and I think it's important, but the most important thing is to be able to play what you want to play. And if you know, reading tablature is what makes it for you, then do it, you know, do it. So, I'm going to play this piece for you now. So there you have it, the first two sections of Vincent, also known as Starry Night. A few elements that were difficult in this piece, there's a lot actually, but one of them that really I had to keep working on, and I'm still working on, is getting the precision with those hammers and pull-offs. So for example, in the fourth measure here, like, I need to hammer right there with my pinky on the 7th fret, first string, and that was hard to like hammer it hard enough with my pinky, which is my weakest finger, to sound, but not to slip it off so that it made this twangy noise because the string is going off underneath. So I'll just play it for you. See? And I also had to make sure like my nail was cut short enough that I could actually, you know, hit it and my nail wouldn't hit against the fingerboard and stop before I could sound the string with my finger, if that makes sense. Another thing is there's just a lot of barring, and I'm like in this second section here with I'm barring the 5th fret. Then I have to let go and just do a half bar like that. So there's a lot of barring, and that's just like, you know, hard on my hand. There's a lot of position work in this piece, which is great. Up in the 5th position, way up here at the 12th fret. I'm doing that. What was another thing? This measure here in the second section, I had to play, you know, like hundreds of times to get it right, where I'm going like this. I mean, I can make it look easy now, but no, it was not easy. That was really hard, and that was the hardest measure in this whole two sections. So yeah, there's a lot of elements in this that I appreciate and are making me grow, and I hope to play this third section for you someday. Just take a look at that. It's tough. There's like some harmonics in there. There's actually a really cool hammer where you come all the way up here on the fret on the fretboard and hit right there, which is really neat. And I don't think I'm gonna have that one ready for a while. So the next time we do this together, I would like to play a piece for you that I've been playing. This is probably my all-time favorite classical piece that I play. It's called Lagrima by Francisco Tárrega. Tárrega is a big classical guitarist. He's written a lot of music and very beautiful music. I would like to really revive this piece because I played it, memorized it, but it's still like when I try to play it now, I can't do it. I can't play it all the way through correctly, but I would really like to nail it down again because it's a piece that I just really want to hold on to. It's a great performance piece. It's beautiful. It's just beautiful Spanish classical guitar music. So next time I'm going to be playing that for you, and also in the meantime working on that third section of Starry, Starry Night. So I'm going to sign off now. Good night.